Good day everyone, I am Olivia R. Eisen and I am going to talk about the methods of separating mixtures. The methods of separating mixtures are extraction, distillation, precipitation, chromatography, filtration, and sedimentation. First one is extraction. It refers to the transference of compounds from a solid or liquid into a solvent or phase. It is a technique used to separate components from a mixture, meaning it involves dissolving some components of mixture. Example of extraction is the bakers use the extract of vanilla, almond, orange, lemon, and peppermint in their dishes to give extra flavor on to their product. Second is distillation. It is a process of separating liquids from a solution. This separation technique is based on boiling point of substances in the mixture. So distillation is a method to separate homogeneous or two liquids like water and alcohol. When heated, the mixture with the lowest boiling point will evaporate first. In the case of wine which contains water and alcohol, the alcohol will evaporate first because its boiling point is at 78 degree, while alcohol boils at 100 degree. Third is precipitation. It is to form an insoluble compound either by decreasing the solubility of compound or by reacting to solution. So precipitation reacts serve important functions. They are used to purification, removing or recovering salts for making pigments, and to identify substances in qualitative analysis. Fourth is the chromatography. It is the technique that separates the components of mixtures that are based on the ability of each component to drawn across the surface of another materials. Chromatography is good in separating dissolved substances that have different colors, such as inks and plant dyes. It works in separating dyes because some of the color substances dissolve in liquid better than others, so they travel further up the paper. Fifth is filtration. It is a method for separating an insoluble solid from liquid. It is a physical process used to separate solids from liquids by passing them through a barrier. This is the process in which solid particles in a liquid or gaseous fluid are removed by the use of a filter medium that permits the fluid to pass through but retains the solid particles. Example is the mixture of sand and water. When the mixture of sand and water is filtered, the sand will be trapped in the filter paper called residue. The water passes through the filter paper becomes the desired product called filtrate. And the last one is sedimentation. It is a method separating the insoluble substances which are heavier than the liquid by allowing them to settle down on their own due to gravity. Now, you have your particles present in liquid, normally settle down at the bottom of a container. The process, however, takes some amount of time. Take a look on the picture. There is a muddy water in a container. It is a mixture of soil and water. After stirring the mixture, leave it to settle for a couple of minutes. Mud settles down at the bottom of a container by the process of sedimentation. So now let's differentiate element, compound, and mixture. So element. It is a pure substance that cannot be broken down into a simpler substance by physical or chemical means. Element is made up of only one atom, consists of proton, neutron, and electron. The elements are arranged on the periodic table based on their number of protons. The number of protons of an element always stays the same. Each element also has its own unique set of property. Some common examples of elements are carbon, oxygen, and iron. Next is compound. It is a pure substance of two or more elements chemically combined. Elements combined during a chemical change. A particle of a compound is called molecule. When elements combine chemically, a new substance is created. This compound has many properties than the elements that make it up. Hydrogen and oxygen are gases. They combined, it may look like water. Here are some items that combine to make compound. Hydrogen plus oxygen equals to water or H2O. Sodium plus chlorine is equals to salt or NaCl. Carbon plus hydrogen plus oxygen is equals to glucose or C6H12 and O6. When elements created compound, they always join in a specific ratio. The ratio of water is 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. If a compound is the different ratio of hydrogen and oxygen, then it is not water. Compounds are all around you, in the food you eat, mere school supplies, or even yourself. The last one is mixture. If two or more substances are mixed together but do not chemically combine, the general properties of a mixture can be easily separated and can keep their original properties. There are two types of mixture. Number one is heterogeneous. Is one which you can visually see the different parts of the mixture. Example of heterogeneous are sand and salad. Next is homogeneous, sometimes called solutions, is a mixture which the composition is uniform throughout the mixture. Examples are salt water. It is the dissolved salt is evenly distributed throughout. Alloy, made up of two or more metals. It includes brass and bronze, and liquid soap. There are many ways in separating mixture which are discussed on the first part. Let's take a look on the picture. The heterogeneous mixture. Chocolate chip cookies, pizza, soda with ice, sandwich, toast salad. Let's also take a look of the picture in homogeneous mixture examples. Coffee, wine, air, brass, steel, natural gas, vinegar, and blood. Let's discuss the demonstrate methods of separating component of mixture. Number 1. Evaporation. Removes a liquid from a solution to leave a solid material. Evaporation is a technique used to separate out homogeneous mixtures where there is one or more dissolved solids. This method drives up the liquid components from the solid components. The properties typically involves heating the mixture until no more liquid remains. Prior to using this method, the mixture should only contain one liquid component, unless it is not important to isolate the liquid components. This is because all liquid components will evaporate over time. This method is suitable to separate a soluble solid from a liquid. Example is the table salt. It is obtained from the evaporation of seawater. The heat per process comes from the sun. Number 2 is distillation. Takes advantage of differences in boiling point. Distillation involves heating a liquid to its boiling point, then collecting, cooling, and condensing the vapor produced into a separate container. For example, salt water can be desalinated by boiling off and condensing water. Number 3 is filtration. It separates solids of different sizes. Filtration is a separation method we use to separate out pure substances in mixture comprised of particles, some of which are large enough in size to be captured with a porous material. Particle size can vary considerably. given the type of mixture. For example, other mixture like soil have relatively large particle sizes, which can be filtered through something like a coffee filter. The number 4 or the last is the chromatography. It is the solutions with several components can be separated by paper or thin layer chromatography. Chromatography means color writing. Paper and thin layer chromatography are simple techniques that can be used to separate mixtures into the individual components. The methods are similar in operation and principle, and differ primarily in the medium used. Paper chromatography uses ordinary filter paper as the medium upon which the mixture to be separated is applied. That's all. Thank you for listening.